Hey everyone, how are you doing? This is Lorraine from the Sacred Alchemist 1111. I am going to be doing your reading, which is going to be based on the 1010 portal. Today is October 10th, 2021. So we're entering into the light portal after coming to a full cycle of a karmic situation that we are going to be closing out, marking it as an end, severing ties with it before moving on towards our newness, our new cycle. Whether this karmic cycle is going to be one of positivity or a continuation of negative cycles. If you haven't learned from your previous cycle, then that's literally down to you. Okay. I'm going to before I get stuck in, I just want to obviously express my thanks to everybody. I just saw 1010 when I said this. I really hope that you all are very well. I really do. We are going through, obviously, so much at this precise moment in time. The energies feel really heavy, as usual. The distance between ourselves and those who choose to live in fear are becoming ever so wider, increasingly wider. There's not much conversation left, but more silence than there is conversation. But that's to be expected because of this paradigm shift. It's like we've been really shuffled away from all of the chaos. I'm going to get stuck into the downloads first of all, what I have been, experiencing. And then after that, we'll get stuck into the readings. Now, before I do say anything further, this is going to be a long reading, okay? So I'm going to put the chapters in the, amongst videos, so this makes it more convenient for you. But I will say this now. If you are not ready, or if you choose not to resonate with this reading, if you don't resonate with it from the get-go, if the title of the video hasn't really reeled you in, but you're still clicking it to watch it, it's not for you. Okay, it's not for you because you're not ready. If you still want to hold on to certain baggages or a situation, if you're still pining after your DM or your person or whatever, this reading is not going to be for you. This reading is about those who is going through the diner of the soul with a lot of strength and courage. Yes, sure, it stays when you feel like giving up and it feels really, really heavy. But you're still here. You're still going through the change. You're still surviving. You are still thriving. Okay? Now, obviously, I will say that there's just going to be obviously a few that are not going to resonate with this. And this is fine. All right? It's no problem at all. Because I feel that if you were sort of still going against the grain, then it's not really going to be affecting me. It's going to be more affecting you. And it's not going to be affecting anybody else on this channel who's watching this channel. It's literally going to be affecting you. So I just need to bear that in mind. Now, we are in Mercury retrograde at the same time in in conjunction with this portal. So whatever kind of breaking away and tying up loose ends that you are wanting to work on for yourself, please bear in mind that you need to make sure that the vibration is going to be high. It's going to be try to keep it as positive as possible. Try to make sure that your intentions, what you are thinking about logically, are very clear to you and it makes sense and it feels right to you. It makes sense to you as well. Because I feel that this is, this permanent closure is one that needs to be sealed. Now, I've said this before in the previous readings, and from what I've been gathering and what I've been seeing, I've been experiencing over these past few weeks and few months, you know, of the year, the divine feminine in particular, well, it's kind of like both, the masculine and the feminine, are really under attack. And there's so much, you know, sort of like confusion and a lot of accusations that are flying, this apartheid between, you know, your spirituality versus the religion, your health versus this medical apartheid, etc., etc., is becoming more apparent. And these accusations of your belief, oh, you worship the devil and this and the other, it's becoming even more apparent. All right. And all I will say is that you guys need to just make sure that you are transfixed and fixated on your survival process. However you are surviving, your belief system, your strength, your confidence, you need to make sure that you are keeping that up. Try to lessen the time that you've got with those around you who are trying to seek to oppress you with this kind of, this real sort of like, it's almost like it's turning into some sort of psychotic kind of obsession to try and break you down. Because no matter what they are doing, it's not working. The more they break you down, the more you are building yourself up and the more stronger you are standing. And it's like by any means necessary. For those that are trying to assassinate your character, to assassinate your finances, your mainstream income, your, you know, your business, your, even to try and pretend to be you so that they can sort of like fraud you up with regards to messing up your bills, so that payments aren't being met or whatever the case may be. You know, there's a lot of people that are just really impersonating light workers, so, you know, through the social media. And yet still, you're still hanging on, you're still holding on, you're still maintaining. Okay. And it's just really, really important. And I must say that you just need to make sure that you are congratulating yourself along the way. Now, there's something that I just saw in a group by a lovely lady called Laura Eisenhower. I know most of you guys would have heard of Laura Eisenhower. She's the great-granddaughter of the Dwight Eisenhower, the President of the United States. She's just totally sort of like very high vibrational. And there was something that she actually mentioned, and I feel that this is kind of like appropriate to include in this, you know, in this reading, especially on today. And I'll just say, it's not very long. It says, trust the science. We are the science, in biological vessels with an immune system and the capacity to love and transform things. We have consciousness. Any science void of including this isn't true science. It stunts our capacity to move through the necessary initiations so we can be empowered and advance ourselves and become the override frequency to lower forces who seek to infect our creative imagination and control our minds. And this is by Laura Eisenhower. Okay, so the credit for what she said here, obviously well-deservedly goes to her. And this is what sort of like made me want to talk about the attack of the divine feminine. it's not just about attacking our bodies. It's not just about attacking our minds. It's our souls. It's our very existence. Our DNA is under attack. Our ability to align ourselves with Christ consciousness and obviously the prime source, the one true creator. Okay. And I'm hearing narcissistic ritual abuse in order to make us doubt ourselves and close off our minds. The closure of our minds, this is what they want. Because our mind is like another portal to the inner and universe and outerverse of us. So that was what I kind of like wanted to talk to, include this section into the reading. So let's begin with the downloads. 10:10 is on Sunday. Sunday being the day of the sun. The sun is shown to me as a portal towards a new beginning that can only be entered through death. Death is the new beginning. Transformational change has made this all possible. So it's not just about the physical death, but obviously when we speak about the death or the death card in tarot, we are talking about transformation, okay? Where we are leaving out the old and entering into the new. The only reason why you are here is because of the hell you went through. To get to where you are in your life today took many scarred battles. Scarred battles on your body and in your heart, etched with hate for love and fear for courage. This battle has and nearly costed you your life, okay? And when it says that I am shown an archway of light for me to pass through, I barely make the grade. And as I was speaking, it was mentioning about the hand gesture, which is very important to the change. And then it mentioned about a twitching of the feet. So I know that there's something to do with the hands and the feet, so the pressure point, the energy, sort of vessels within the feet and the hands. So I feel that for some of you guys, if you are into palmistry or if you are into the feet, is it the reflexology, the soles of the feet, this is where I feel that you need to be directed towards grounding in nature, spending time in nature. And also just sort of like when you're grounding, when you put your bare feet on the ground, it's also showing me that stooping down and placing your hands into the ground, like by your feet. So, you know, when you sort of like stooping down and just stay there for a moment and sort of like in a meditation kind of sort of position, so that you are able to sort of like connect more with the earth. I just want to mention about a dream that I had last night. And I knew I was trying to do this reading yesterday. And Spirit was like, no, it's not really meant to be for the 9th. It's meant to be for today. And I knew then it was like there was more information that was going to be coming in. Now, my dream last night was quite a very... It was just a very vivid, very weird, but a very violent-y type dream. Not extremely violent, but it was to do with a lot of enemies and toxic family members. And I remember seeing like a deceased relative who was my grandmother. And I remember I was in this room that we was sharing a room, like sharing a house, living in a house. I was sleeping on the floor and I had a relative that was sleeping on a bed and their child was sleeping in another part of the room in their own bed, but I was sleeping on the floor. And I remember getting up to go somewhere. I think I was going to my grandmother who was in a different room. And I said, I just wanted to check up on her. So as I came back in to lie down, my relative sort of hovered over me, and I was laying down on the floor. So I was already in a vulnerable position. Okay, I wasn't standing up where if anything had happened, I could have defended myself. I was lying down. And the relative sort of hovered over me and was saying, oh, like, are you sure you don't want more rum? Are you sure you don't want nothing more to drink? And I'm like, no, like, I'm really good here. But I immediately sensed there was danger. It was as if they had snapped, and they were literally not my relative at all. And I didn't know who this entity was, but this was not the person who I knew to be my relative. Now, there was something that actually made me feel that this could have been either a past life energy, a past life person who kind of looked a lot like my relative, but there was something that was very unfinished about them. There was a lot of trauma. There was something that had happened that had made them kind of snap. And then I sensed that my life was in danger. So I made an excuse, which was quite, thing, to go and see my grandmother in the next room. I said, oh, I just need to go and check on Gran because, I know that, she might just need something or whatever. But it was just my way of getting away from that energy. So I went straight into my grandmother's room. So she was in the bed. Now, my grandmother is deceased. She wasn't there. So anyway, I remember speaking with her. I was only with her for a short while, but there was something that was happening to me as soon as I sort of left the room. I finished speaking with her and I left the room. I noticed, I felt that my energies were changing and it was becoming more powerful, enough for me to overthrow the energy that was being projected towards me or missiled towards me by my sort of, apparent relative. And then that kind of changed and transmuted that energy of hostility, and it sort of cancelled it out. Then I was shown another side in this dream where this girl, who is not a relative to me at all, but she actually had come towards me for trouble. And I remember there was a section to the dream where she sort of had a gun and she was coming to shoot me. And I remember that there was a point where somehow I grappled the gun away from her, or there was another gun. I think when she fired it, or she tried to fire it, there was no bullets in it. But the gun that I had, I shot her and I killed her. But she literally had come with the intention of taking my life. But I was able, some way, somehow, to either get another gun. I remember there was this bright silver gun, and I grabbed it from her, or it was given to, or I found another gun. I can't remember how it went now. When the dreams start fading, but you can still sort of remember certain parts. But anyway, I shot her dead. And that kind of cancelled out. So to me, it felt as if all of these kind of, spiritual warfare is in your dreams as well. It's in your waking life as well. It's in your dreams. But they appear to be human. But we know that they are not human. Okay, these are in the guise of people who may come to you, in the guise of people that you know, or complete strangers. But they come to do you harm. And you have every right, according to universal law, to defend yourself and to protect yourself, because it was a thing of it was either me or her. And then towards the ending of my dream, I was speaking to somebody, some being that mentioned to me a word that was detect, but I thought it said tect or decked, but it was no, detect. And then it said, because it was to do with a lot of trauma that somebody had gone through. And then it mentioned, it said that the word detect kind of stands for detaching from existing traumatic experiences using crystal therapy. So for anybody who had gone through so much trauma in their life, it was about detaching from existing traumatic experiences using crystal therapy, which is the sort of like the the abbreviation for the word detect, or the anagram. So your crystals can absorb your energy. So from now on, just kind of like bear this in mind. But even more, like, this is like daily, like, you need to be, I just want you guys to be so healed and so ready to really just become light warriors. You can't be weak, which pulls you down into fear right now. Because as I said, we are literally under attack, guys. Your crystals can absorb your energy, so please ensure that you clear your aura using sage, Palo Santo, holy water, Florida water. You can even go to a therapist to help to cleanse you out. In a sense, it's kind of like a little bit of like a spiritual exorcism kind of thing, like to really exorcise out those kind of vibes and purge and detox out the energies. Also, bearing in mind that you need to be careful about your intake of certain foods, because most of them are processed and have been designed to lower your vibration and henceforth allow more vulnerability into your life, so that you can become irresponsible and not be so accountable for your, your actions and things that you say and do. All right. I was going to say activating like your water, but then I was told to cross it out. And what Spirit was saying was that if you are feeling low and negative, you won't be able to activate your water. So one must heal in order to activate the water with their raised vibration. Okay? Even if you're going to put a crystal in with your water and you think that you're going to be able to sort of like activate the water to heal it in that kind of way, it's not going to work, because the energy from you are the main source, you are the power source that is going to be recharging and powering up these devices, these divination tools through tools and food and water. Is not going to connect properly. Okay, you are the foundation for your own blessings and your own healing, that you need to get the correct source from the Most High, so the divine. And if you are not aligning yourself with your higher self really in that kind of way, then it's going to kind of like be futile. So getting back to this hand gesture, okay, the hand gesture that I'm talking about is the okay sign, okay? When I was doing the download, I had my hands in a certain way like that. And the thing is, it felt so rigid and yet so relaxing that I literally, it was as if like it was fine. It was as if it was detached from my body in that kind of sense, if you know what I mean, if that makes sense to you. Now, in recent times, over the last year or two, that has been disparaged and now regarded as a sign of hate, a symbol of hate. Now, that is the Gaya Mudra, which is the gesture of knowledge or wisdom. So, and usually that is done in yoga practices, obviously. Okay. But what Spirit was saying was, do not be fooled by the current status of hate that the sign has been given. Bypass the code in order to see true enlightenment. Remember, everything is scripted and everything is coded. You need to know how to hack and break the code. You need to become like a code breaker and hack into your own internal matrix. The real universe, the real matrix, or the real kind of internet, so to speak, is within you. There's always some kind of framework. There's always some kind of order, in a sense of, you talking about universal law, where there is certain things that are done in a certain way, which once you connect with it in a really good way, in a high vibrational way, it helps to elevate you and to help you to ascend. This kind of matrix that we're talking about is something that is totally different, and it is inverted. Remember that they always love to twist and turn and invert certain things that is of a sacred nature, okay? So when we talk about that, now I want to talk about something that, okay, is going to sound very controversial to certain people, but I need you guys to stay with me on this. And also, well, I mean, it's not that I need you guys to. You can if you want to. You can just bypass this bit if you want to, or just stop watching altogether. Click off from this part. I had done a meditation recently, and towards the ending of the meditation, I was showing two symbols. Now, the symbols were in space. The first symbol was the Merkaba, and the second symbol directly underneath it was the swastika. The swastika was shown to me in the shape of the hooked cross, but it was shown to me as dots. So if you look and see, it was shown as dots. All of these dots were glowing purple, neon purple. They were glowing. Okay. And that sort of like kind of blew me away. And I was like, wow, because I'd never seen the swastika shown in that way before. Okay. So with this sacred geometry, obviously we know that it is from the Hindu, Sanskrit, or the Indo-European era, okay, which is a sign for peace and prosperity. This is what we know, okay, this is what we know. However, in recent times, or sort of like in the past, well, during up to the Second World War, well, just before that actually, the swastika was used by almost everybody around the world because it was a sign of peace and prosperity and abundance. Coca-Cola was using it. The American army was using it on their clothes, the military. American Indians were using it because they've got their own version of the swastika. Obviously, India, everybody was using it. Okay? Even the children had it on, I think it was on certain toys as well. It gave off a beautiful energy of abundance and happiness and prosperity. During that time as well, they had gotten over the First World War. So it was like everybody was looking for some kind of symbol that brought about a way of raising their vibrations. Now, you know, when I say about the First World War, we don't even know how many world wars that took place because they always love to twist up and twist off history. And, you know, that's why you just really have to learn how to dig deep and learn how to sort of like break the code. So when they start talking to you about certain things, you need to actually take it upon yourself to go and seek out the knowledge yourself. So when Hitler came in, obviously he saw this. There was an expedition, I think, exhibition that was done by somebody who done an expedition to, I think it was either Turkey or Greece or some in Syria. And he came across, I can't remember the man's name, and he came across the swastika and what its properties were for. And he thought, wow, okay, well, you know something? This is what we need to really get some morale and positivity coming in. So I want to showcase this to the world. And this is what happened. And then somebody called Hitler, saw it and thought, wow, I'm going to use that for my National Socialist Party emblem. Okay, I would love this to be the logo. And he went and used it. And to me, I don't know, everything, I don't take nothing at face value right now. The more you get into your spirituality and the more you start to vibe up and ascend, you need to become even more discerning. So when they start throwing you things about Holocaust and things like that happened in the Second World War and the First World War and the slavery trade and this and the other, you have to start becoming more discerning and you have to start reading in between the lines. Okay? They obviously turned around and thought, well, you know something, we're gonna have to use this symbol of love and peace into a symbol of hate and fear. And it worked. Whatever spell they had casted and made everybody, the masses, and everybody who was born around after that era, they were brought up and indoctrinated to learn and be taught through indoctrination that the swastika is a symbol of hate and fear and stuff like that. Now, granted, yes, there are people who are not as high vibe as they should be, and they fed into that ideology that, yeah, that is going to symbolize, you know, spread hate and fear. So because of the low vibration that they chose for themselves to go through this feeling of hatred, racism and stuff like that, to cause fear and further division, that's what they adapted it to. So that kind of like made everybody go onto another timeline where the swastika, instead of it being used and regarded as a sacred symbol, geometric symbol, was then used to emasculate mankind, emasculate the masculine. It put fear into the hearts of men. It lowered the morale. It brought about a sense of fear and depression because of what happened in the Second World War, and obviously with regards to Hitler using it as a means of the power over the masses and to destroy and create genocide, etc., etc., which to me, I'm sorry to say, it's all scripted. Then that's what happened. This is where we need to be getting, as I said, you can disagree with me on that all you like. But due to what I have been studying and researching, there have been, even the Indian community and Hindu community are trying to sort of like get that back, or, you know, transmute that fear back into peace and love and courage. You've got a lot of Indian ladies called swastika. It's part of their Indian culture. So they're not about hatred and wanting to kill people. How have we sunk so, like, you know, and it's not our fault. It's because of what we were taught. And that kind of trauma, they want it where we are not to be in touch with our abilities to become more spiritual and to become even more enlightened, and to know that we have the power to manifest and create the reality that we want for ourselves. So for me personally speaking, as part of my ritual for today, this would be about transmuting and ending that ideology. For me personally, because this is about me transmuting my reality to a desired one, currently to a desired reality, to transmute that energy of fear and hatred of the swastika and turn it back towards positivity. Okay? Prosperity and abundance. Whenever it comes to the Diwali festivals, they all use that. They relight the candles in that way. It's on the Buddha, and it's not about hatred. Okay? It's not about hatred, and I've just seen 33 when I said that. So, anyway, the last 3 dates of this year are important. Now, the dates that I'm talking about is obviously today, 10th of October, the 11th of November, and the 12th of December. These 3 dates, there's something about the number 3, a sacred trinity, the Holy Trinity, and a way in which the dark forces like to invert it for it to become unholy. All right? Remember that we are in the year 2021. And when you break it down in numerological terms, it is 5. What does 5 represent in the tarot? 5 is the Hierophant, the 5 of Swords, the 5 of Wands, the 5 of Cups, and the 5 of Pentacles. 5 cards, okay? Which can mean chaos, conflict, change, and commitment. whatever kind of energy, whatever that you are going to align yourself with and associate yourself with. Even when I do certain spreads or other readers do certain spreads and it comes up with any of those kind of cards in any of the combinations, it's down to you to decide on how you are going to use that energy. Are you going to transmute it, or are you going to align yourself with the chaos? Or are you going to align yourself with the change? And then from then on, if it's change to come away from the chaos and the conflict, then there's going to be that commitment that you need to kind of like stick with. Okay? So it's really important to make sure that during these times, and especially during the Mercury retrograde, that you are keeping your vibrations high. Okay? Because as we know, the Mercury retrograde, obviously, see the stumbling of the words, but it brings blocked, incorrect misunderstandings in oral communications, as well as technical hitches. Remember that scripts and spells are being scripted and casted everywhere. All right? Everywhere you go. And obviously, we've got to be mindful as well of the mirroring dates of these 3 dates. So it would have been the 1st of October. So 0110. Okay? Instead of like the 1010. And then with November, you'd have like 111. And then 1111. And then you've got the 12th of December, and then you've got the 21st of December. So 12, and then 21, 12. Just make sure that, guys, you just keep your vibes high as possible, okay, during these days. In fact, from now on, if you can. So this is what brings me now to the ending of this lengthy download that had my brain sort of like frazzled and just so overwhelmed with, you know, what I've been seeing and stuff like that. Okay, so I'm going to be using quite a few decks here. So I just kind of, like, as I said to you, I will be putting them into chapters. All right, and then at the ending of the reading, I'll do some sort of like affirmations with certain cards that I've got as well. So first and foremost, we're going to be getting started with the Divine Feminine. Okay. So we're going to pull a card, and this is going to be kind of, I just feel that I need to pull this deck due to how we're feeling right now within as a collective. I feel that this is just, it just feels like this is just, I don't know, it just felt like there was just words of encouragement, or to know that you're not on your own on this journey. The spirit world is with you during this time. Wow, okay. So where the cards just fell out, but this one in particular wants to speak. So, Lalita, the red goddess. Playfulness is a spiritual power. Laughter leads me back to the light. Okay? So we don't really do no fear. During the times of your transformation, it's very important that, because if you notice the way how she's got her bow and arrow, this beautiful energy of, it's like there's so much balance within this goddess. Because not only is, I mean, she's beautiful, but it's just more to do with her energy and her light that makes her even more special. But also she is powerful and knows that she can at any time, if she's going to be presented with any form of darkness, she is ready to put up a fight and to defend and protect herself at all costs. Not only that, I feel with regards to the way how the sparkles of light, these orbs that are around her, she has her fellow gods and goddesses on her side, as well as the love and adoration that come from people who worship that and align themselves with her energy and work with her energy as well. This is the red goddess. Playfulness is a spiritual power. Laughter leads me back to the light. So whenever you are doing your shadow work, in times of when you are feeling a little bit low, because it's natural, guys, we're humans, we are interdimensional sacred beings living out a human existence for a short period of time. And what we came back here to do through voluntary purposes, as well as it being probably mandatory for some. We need to remember to make sure that we keep ourselves in that energy of light, even when we are standing in the dark. Okay, so this is really nice and reassuring. Okay, now we are going to pull the High Priestess, the Priestess of Light. What messages do we have for the Divine Feminines? How can we get ourselves through this time, this 1010 portal? Okay. Making sure it just pulls, selects the one that it wants. Sometimes it takes a bit of time. Okay. So we do have angelic assistance, divine guidance, love and support, idyllic times in the garden paradise. Remember what I mentioned to you about being in nature and grounding? Okay. In order to, you know, you've got your knowledge on and everything like that, and you've got like this angelic assistance, the spirit guides. So I said they're watching over you. They are giving you the assistance during this time of darkness, and we've got the clarity, planning, releasing illusion. Now, remember what I said to you with regards to the way how they have literally butchered the ideology and the sacred meaning of the swastika. You need to release yourself from that illusion because you have got the wisdom that is coming through you. Okay? Don't let them sort of like make you feel that you're doubting yourself with regards to your faith, your bravery, the love that you got for yourself. You love yourself enough to walk away and to let go. No longer to vibrate on that vibration anymore, on that level anymore. You are just walking away and heading towards your purpose. Okay. So what we're going to just have a look at, I want to have a look and see what is going on with regards to if there's any sort of shadowy bits that you are surrounded by and you need to kind of work on to move on from that. It's going to be having a look at the dark mirror. Dark mirror. Yeah. Revenge. Revenge. I think I mentioned something about this in a reading recently. I think I kind of remember now. There's so much. I think I did. If you are feeling like this, remember that you have got your angelic assistance. You have the right to defend yourself at any time. Because I feel if somebody wants to put revenge on you, for anything that they believe that you have done, it could be the fact that you are just growing up, or the fact that you are just gravitating away from them. You're gravitating towards something else. You are gravitating towards yourself, your higher self. So karmic-y. Okay. And then we have got perchance to dream. This is the influence. Sorry guys, it's starting to rain quite heavy, so hopefully it's not going to rain so much. Actually, I'm just going to let the rain fall and then I'll get started on reading again. Okay, guys. Sorry about that. I'm just going to continue with the reading, you know, because I don't want to sort of lose this train of thought. And, you know, obviously we can't stop the rain from falling. And it seems to be quite symbolical as well, as a way of cleansing out and cleanse out any toxicity and stuff like that. All right. If it does rain quite heavy, I will pause the reading and just start back up again. All right. Okay, so we do have revenge and we do have perchance to dream. So I feel as though there's something that is really plaguing you during your sleeping time. If you yourself have been having vivid dreams about being attacked or anything to do with you know, revenge, or somebody that wants to take revenge on you, if you know this to be the case, you just know that you are heavily protected. That's why I was saying that when in my dream that was mentioned to you guys earlier on, with my grandmother, there was that energy of protection. So even though, I mean, I don't really dream about my grandmother that much, but whenever I do, there's this energy and there's this feeling of, you know, spiritual protection, because they know what I've been going through and still am going through to this day, and also about the transformation that we are all going through ourselves during our spiritual awakening. So it's really important to make sure that you have, in times of when you feel that you are on your own and you're up against people that are trying to come at you with all this kind of craziness, you know, about they want to seek revenge and stuff like that. Remember that you've got the angelic assistance. Call on your spirit guides. Call on the angelic realm. Call on the spirit guides. The realms is there to give you that assistance. You don't have to do this on your own. You've got your ancestors there that are ready to do some serious damage to those who are going to be plaguing you and trying to manipulate you through your dreams. Okay, this is, to me, this feels like this is harassment during the time of when you're trying to sleep, which means that it's messing around with your productivity and your, you know, the way how you're trying to like elevate yourself in terms of either creating a business. If you feel blocked, you've just got this kind of karmic vibe, this energy of toxicity that's trying to sort of like get the better of you. They end up getting the better of themselves, okay, because they're not going to go anywhere. Okay, so the wisdom of the shadow, what it is that you need to learn from this situation. This is the thing. And also this is about letting this energy go. You've got 23, which is 2 and 3 is 5, and you've got 28, 2 and 8 is 10. Okay, so for some of you guys, this is about you defeating your enemies during your sleep. And this is also a way of like saying that this, you know, you need to end this through your dreams, or end this through your waking life in terms of you empowering yourself. Okay, let's see what we've got from the wisdom of the shadow. Okay, so we've got soul care. Look after yourself. Your soul is everything. It's your currency. It is your ticket out of the chaos. All right. Your soul is highly sought after by the dark ones, because I want to be able to harvest what you have been given, what you were born with. You. This is the real you, your soul. They want to be able to harvest this, so you will never be able to ascend any further. Hence why there's so much stuff that's going on at this precise moment in time. You know, I see the sacred womb. I see the sacred love. This just reminds me of the sort of like the blueprint of the divine feminine in terms of her internal, I mean, look at, to me, I just see this as portals. Okay, everything, your heart, your mind, your soul, your pressure points, there's other parts of you that is just so, you know, you are fire, you are all of the elements, not only just on this earth, but obviously in the cosmos. This is what makes you who you are. You are everlasting energy. The portal, your vagina, the sacred chalice within you. I feel that you all need to cleanse this area as well. For men, if you are divine feminines, if you carry that energy, this will be the phallic area of you that needs to be cleansed. Okay, providing this shield around you too. Again, I'm picking up preparation for the new beings who will come through, the new teachers, the new guardians, the new elders, the ancient ones that will be coming through. Preparation is needed. Next card that we have, guys. Okay. Thank you, Spirit. We have got metamorphosis. So you are definitely going through the change. This is why you need to look after your soul. Look after yourself. Don't be so caught up in, again, like you see, like when you sort of like join certain groups. I had to unfollow and leave a group that I was with because I mentioned something that was to do with the way how we communicate with each other. And because I mentioned about the draconian laws and what they're trying to do to us. It's like they took the comment away. They didn't like what I had to say. So I didn't, I didn't worry about it, sort of thing. But it made me feel, well, this group isn't for me because of the ascension. Because I see things such from a higher perspective. It was like there was a group that did not want to know about the fear side of things, the dark side of things. How are you going to regain your power and become more balanced within yourself if you are not able to be strong enough to face your demons and know how to handle the dark side as well as the light side? How can you ascend? And that was my question. I just didn't get it. And this is why I had to leave that group. It was just too vulnerable for me. And it just, I'll be honest with you, there was a lot of, people that were just going through so much pain. But also the fact that I felt that there was not enough, there was no real questions about like, what are you doing for your soul mission? How are we going to build New Earth? What are we going to do with regards to, becoming, getting ourselves prepared to become elders? We are becoming elders towards these children are coming through. How are we going to do? And it was just like, there was no mention of that at all. Okay. And I'm always saying to you guys with regards to your soul mission, you need to make sure, stop being so caught up in this heartbreak or pining after somebody who is not ready to be with you at this precise moment in time. Because of their life lesson, because of their karmic cycle, do not disturb their soul mission or their karmic cycle. You need to make sure that you are focusing on your own. Or if that, because if you have to be consciously aware of it, and if you are and you're still carrying on, then you're not really benefiting anybody and you're not benefiting yourself. Okay, so with this metamorphosis, there's so much change that is going on. Okay, and the next card that we have got is wisdom. And I'm hearing through harsh experiences comes wisdom. The changes that you're going through, you're going to become a lot more wiser. And this is going to be the building block for you to become an elder. You're not a young, like a defenseless child or a little baby where you need to be babied and, your hand held. And, I need you guys to be warriors. And the energy that I'm picking up and pulling in for this reading right now is about you needing to be strong enough to stand in a very high vibration, as I always keep mentioning, but you're doing it with courage instead of fear. Learn how to transmute. Wisdom. It's the way how the heart portal is glowing. As I said, it's like this is like the blueprint of the divine feminine, female God. Emptiness. I feel that you need to, and again with this heart space, holding the space, emptiness, emptying yourself of all forms of doubts, fears, in order to become more within your stillness. There's something about this emptiness. I don't know why, it's just giving me this feeling of completeness in a sense. Empty out, purge out, detoxify and empty out all the gunk, all of that rubbish during the time of your metamorphosis. Whatever is left back that you can use to help you towards your ascension process so that you become more, more able to handle what life is going to be throwing at you, because there's going to be new challenges that you're going to be meeting up. And I feel that if you've had so much build up within yourself, bottling everything up, you need to be able to let all of that go. It's like pulling the plug If any of you guys are going to do your spiritual baths tonight, you put your salt, your herbs, your lemons, your I'm hearing crystals, black salt, your essential oils, etc., etc., and your candle work, candle magic, which is going to, you know, activate and, you know, unify and everything. This is going to help to drain away and empty out all of that gunk. So it's as if, like, the way how I'm feeling from this card, it's like it's like you becoming a blank canvas again. All right, but there's certain things that you have obtained through knowledge, obtaining knowledge in order to enhance your wisdom. It all comes down to soul care at the end of the day. That's brilliant. Okay, so we are going to look into the spirit animal. Kind of spirit animals that you've got. There's so much things. I'm hearing that there's like a high octane of questions. A high octane of expectations. It just feels like this is like you're on a highway, and it's like traveling really fast. So it's like traveling like, it's like almost like the speed of light, transcending. I'm going to be using the spirit animal. Let's see what we've got. All right, the first card that we have got is Nightingale Spirit. Love is all around. Love is all around. Not fear, love. All right, 41. 4 and 1 is 5. 4 is about stability. 1 is obviously new beginnings. 4 and 1 is about the change, the transmutation, and the commitment. Listen to songs that make you feel good. But I'm also picking up on the 432 hertz. I feel that there's going to be a lot more of a demand for musicians. If you are a musician, or if you have been composing, or you know somebody who's a musician or a composer, writing songs, I feel that there's it's a change to the consciousness, the chemical change, the chemical reaction. But it's also the way how now you know that this is the direction that you're going to be going in towards, changing those frequencies in order to care and better the cells. Okay. And we do have Wasp Spirit. Sometimes life stings. Yeah. And this is where you get the balance. This is where you start to know how to transmute, and this is where you need to put an ending of stuff. 64, 6 and 4 is 10. All right? Sometimes shit happens. You need to be able to be strong enough to turn around and say, no, enough is enough, and to move on. There's so much, to me, what you can see here behind this wasp, it reminds me of a labyrinth. So it's like being guided through trials and tribulations, dead ends. You might feel that you're getting somewhere a little bit further, and then all of a sudden, like, you just feel like you've walked into a brick wall, and needing to find your way out, all right? But remember that life stings a little bit, but make sure that you know how to hold on to your love. Love is the key. Love is the cure, okay? And we have got Brown Bear Spirit. Take time out. Learn to focus on your independence. Learn to focus on your completion. And this is also giving me protection and boundaries as well. You ever need to take any time out, you make sure you take it. And you make sure that it's going to help you with your growth. But also what I'm picking up here is the way how this bear is presented. You can see how the seriousness. Like, it's like you don't want to, like, you know, if what I'm getting at is for some of you guys who have been easily led or easily talked into doing something that you don't want to do. I'm guided to say that this is the power that you need to have within you to rise up. Because no is no. And you're not, I feel that you can't really mess around with this kind of energy. This is power. Take time out for yourself. If it can be done, it will be done. If it cannot be done, my beautiful, it is not going to get done. Somebody is stepping out from those restrictions, those deadlines. You don't run, but you don't do deadlines. You don't. Not saying that you're not lazy at all, but you are not somebody that is going to conform to any more restrictions because you've got your boundaries set up. In fact, you are trying. It's like the tables are being turned. You are actually the one that's really stepping in control. They stepped on your toes. You have to step now in control of yourself and of your life. This is about walking in your own power, developing thick skin in order to make sure that you are going to be vibrating in a protective way as well. What I'm picking up as well is that some people might take you for what you're saying as hostile. That is not your business. That is nothing to do with you. That is everything to do with them. And for those that feel that you are standing in this brown bear spirit, and if they feel that they want to take revenge on you, it's not going to work. It's not going to happen. It's because they can no longer come towards you with any form of intimidation. You see things. There's so much wisdom in this bear. This bear is like an elder. There's some, an ancestor. It's given me a lot of native American Indian energy here. That this could be like an elder's like name or brown bear. Very tribal. Very, very wise in wisdom. I'm picking up some kind of energy of somebody who speaks to bears. They understand the power of the bear, and they whatever kind of energy, whatever kind of conversation, whatever kind of advice that this bear gives this elder, this tribe elder, there's something about this elder, is spread around and it's like it's protective. There's so much wisdom that's coming from this. But there's some, like an elder that speaks to bears. Really powerful stuff. I'm going to get another one for you guys. This wants to speak. Groundhog spirit, time to let go. Hold on to your stability. This is what I'm saying. You make sure that if you are ready to just go and you are stepping into your power, you know damn well, you know it's time to let go. Take time out because you are taking the time to let go. I feel that somebody is leaving behind some kind of organization. It's really giving me some strong, I don't know, some kind of county. I'm hearing about some kind of county. Don't feel afraid. Don't feel fearful if you don't know where you are going to be going to next, because you're already guided. And you need to understand, overstand and understand that the reason why you came to this situation and this conclusion is because it has already been orchestrated for you. You are just playing out what you agreed to do. Because where you are going to, you are going to be needed. When you won't know that until when you get there. And then you will understand why they pushed you away, they pushed you out, or there's something about you needing to take your power back. You're being led somewhere else. You're being led somewhere else. This is only it feels a bit specific here. that section. But you know it's time to go. No more Groundhog Days. No more, you know, on the hamster wheel where, you know, it's day in, day out, day in, day out. You know that film Groundhog Day? No more of that. But the energy that I'm picking up from this groundhog spirit card, you know, it's time to let go. And I feel that for some of you guys, in terms of dreams, what I'm picking up here is that you know that shit's going to go down wherever you are located. And this is why you have to be relocated. Okay, thank you. All right, let's go with some Cosmic Consciousness Ascension deck. First card up we have got is Denial, Releasing. This is Orion, Releasing. So really cutting away from all of the deniers, people, places and things. If, you know what, if people refuse to see what's going on, there's nothing you can do. If they cannot change, they're not going to change for you. You have to change. You have to be the one to make that change. Change that energy by changing for yourself. If you're in no more denial anymore, if it just doesn't make no sense to be in denial of anything, then it's time for you to change. Releasing all of the doubts, releasing all of the denials, releasing all of those fears. The next card that we have got is Joy, serious initiation. This is an initiation that we're going through right now. Okay, this is a challenge for us. As I said to you guys before, that 2021 is a year of challenge. This is it. This is to challenge you to the point to see how strong you are, how resilient you are. And the bear energy is strength and power beyond. I'm also picking up, I'm being told to pick up back on the Lalita, the red goddess, which is playfulness, is a spiritual power. Laughter leads me back to the light, and this is joy. Okay? Joy. You choose whichever energy that you want to go into. Do you want to still be riding in fear, or do you want to be able to sort of put that to one side and change towards faith so that you can have that joy in your life back again? Because someone's looking for some peace of mind right now, and I feel that you're surrounded by people who are questioning your thoughts. Be mindful, you know, when you get some, okay, this is going to take what resonates here, but if certain people are coming up to you randomly and they're kind of asking you about your thoughts, but this is more for people who are in a setting, like a workplace setting. Be careful. Be careful. Because they're not going to, it's just going to be thrown back at you. For some people, you know what I'm talking about, where, because I'm picking up on people that are just really, this kind of vibe of like ridicule, disparaging. Just be mindful. There's a lot of sadness in this bear's eyes. A lot of pain that this person has gone through. No more. I'm also picking up a narcissistic behavior, not from this person, but what was done to this person because of the perchance to dream card, where they were left to doubt themselves. And as I'm speaking, I can feel my left palm throbbing. Like the tension had your blood pumping. Because the bottom part of here, underneath here, is like boom, boom, it's throbbing. So what I'm picking up, this person, whoever you are, you went through something where it made your blood, like you had some kind of like, I don't know, it's like some kind of adrenaline rush. Like they were trying to really put so much pressure onto you. This feels really traumatic. It just feels like narcissistic behavior. This is where you have every right to walk away. Okay. We've got comparison, Orion releasing. So no more competition. This is what I'm saying. I don't know why, but if somebody's coming at you to ask you certain questions about your thoughts, don't play into it. Don't play into it at all. Because I do feel that it's either if they want what you have, let them go and let them try and take it, or let them go and get it for themselves. Because some people just can't understand how you got where you are today, or what you've got. How did you get that? Could be somebody around like to try and competition. Oh, we don't have time for that rubbish. We don't have time for that rubbish. Got universal flow. Go with the flow. Lyra awareness. Go with the flow. I see the twos. I see the twos, and I'm picking up on able. I see a word from this. Able, I see. So you're able to move, able to go. You're able-bodied. I'm also picking up on the initial H as well. A-V. Number 2. J. And C. We've got unity. Pleiades expanding. I see this S, I see this squiggle as like super, as in like superhuman, supernatural. Something really, really great and amazing with this unity card. Wherever you're going to, you are definitely, this feels like, it just feels like it's right. It feels like it's the right direction to go towards. It's like a settlement, a compound, some kind of settlement, some kind of new community. And it's going to be peaceful. It's going to be like, you don't have to explain yourself like every 5 seconds, because people get it. Wherever you are going to, they get it. They overstand and they understand. And understand. All right. That's what we want to hear. Let's go with the numerology. We've got spiritual career. Some of you could be leaving a corporate crappy. All right. Sorry. Okay, I'm told to say, like, your past jobs were never crappy. I have to take that back, and I have to stand corrected, because it was all a part of your life experience. Nothing was ever really crappy. It was all because it got you to where you are today. Okay, it got you to where you was today. Those jobs, those low-paid jobs, were the stepping stones for your greatness, because it allowed you to step into your greatness. Thank you. Some of you could be definitely starting to step into your spiritual career. Hence why you need to come away from this kind of corporate kind of environment in order to step towards a much more, it's full of gratification, it's full of satisfaction, because you're becoming service to others instead of service to self. You are surrounded by people who are obsessed with being service to self, and you are selfless. Thank you. Self-discipline. This really comes from this card. You cannot be budged. You cannot be budged. And we have got moderation. I like the way how the colours are inverted, like they swap over, but they go with the flow. And we have got 421 and we've got 14. Please do take note of these numbers. So again, with regards to health, alcohol intake, I'm hearing substance abuse, no more. 41, 14, mirrored. There's something about looking into a mirror and seeing you for who you really are. And when you do that, there's a decision that is made to start to take things into moderation. So this could be where this is where you are, your appearance, what you see, you are not satisfied. Because it's just really just showing you the damage that has been done. And now this is now for you to do like a 180 towards back to health. Playfulness is a spiritual power. Laughter leads me back to the light. This is back to the light, back to being healthy is also a way of you heading back to your own light, original light. Thank you. Some of you could have like been really like, oh my God, like I can't, I feel as if I can't move. I feel as if like I'm just in this feeling of like low energy where I can't even think straight. All right. So it could be the fact that you need to really just be careful of what you're eating. As I said, it's just taking its toll on you. And it's like you hardly recognize yourself. We've got parenting. All right. So for some of you guys as well, if you are parents or if you are looking after your own parents or if you are becoming a parent as well, it really feels to me that this is a preparation. And for some of you that are definitely, you know, as parents, just with regards to the communication that you have as well, and I feel with the yellow as well, I just feel that this is about being really successful. Maybe for some of you guys as well, this is about I mean, like successful parenting, being able to communicate more with your children or communicate more with your parents in order to bring about peace, putting an end to, I'm hearing misunderstandings and pain. Remember what I mentioned about with the Mercury retrograde as well. All right. I'm also picking up on co-parenting as well. If you are a single parent, I have to pull 2 more cards for you from here. Thank you. All right. We have got personal growth. Very spiritual time for you right now. So the spiritual career is certainly going to boost your personal growth. All right. You're heading into a newness that you've never really had a chance to experience because there was so much distraction. People that were trying to block you and compare themselves to you and to make you feel like they're trying to expunge your light and stunt your growth. And we've got love partnership. I'm being drawn to this parenting energy, what I mentioned about co-parenting. I feel that this is where you need to allow more of a if you are, as I said, if you like this single parent energy, this is about trying to, I'm not saying that you need to sort of like go back to your, you know, your child's parent or anything like that. But this is just about showing each other parental love for the sake of the children so that there's less discord. From now on, if you had done certain things in the past, there's nothing you can do to change that. It's what you do today in order to change that. In order to create these new children, if there is pregnancy that is going to be taking place. And obviously, if you are getting together, becoming parents for the first time as well, there's something really, really powerful and lovely here with this card. But it's just telling me about this parenting energy as well. Okay. Wonderful. Okay, we are going to get stuck in. We're almost there, guys. Thank you guys so much for hanging in there. I told you this reading is going to be lengthy. This is the 1010 portal reading, and yeah, it's gonna be lengthy, guys. There's so much. I just want to say so much. All right, and I'm just being guided right now. I'm going with the flow. All right, I'm going with the flow because I feel that there's so much things that people need to know about and to kind of like get themselves prepared. Okay, the first card that we have got is Judgment. I understand that everyone has their own unique path and challenges. So with regards to the way how I see how you're moving and how you're flexing right now, and again, I'm being told to sort of like remind you of this beautiful, powerful bear energy. It's the fact that you have reached your epiphany. This is your awakening. And there's a real sense of experience that you have now, because there's another tier to this awakening. There's a level up, there's an ascension. And, you know that there are certain people that are going to be for you, and there are certain people, or a lot of people in certain cases, that are not going to be for you. But you know that they are on their own path, and you are also on your own path. There could be some people, if you are again, it's telling me about this corporate, this job. If you are leaving it behind because you're no longer resonating with it, people could be upset that you're leaving, but it's secretly that they're going to miss you, because you're such a hard worker. But the fact is that there's a little bit of selfishness that's attached to it, because you could have been somebody that was very much, or you are somebody who is very much of a hard worker, a grafter. You're very much somebody who gets to work on time. But there's time for you to take time out for yourself. You need to get your wisdom on. You need to get your knowledge on. And you need to be able to rest yourself, so that it's going to help you to become more healthier within your mind, your body, and your soul. And if you're going to have people that's not going to understand you, or they want to feel that they want to take it out on you, sort of like in this revenge kind of thing, or if you're ending a relationship or any kind of connection that you've got with somebody, okay, because you have your own judgment, they're going to have their own judgment too. There's always two sides to, this judgment. There's either going to be the judgment that for you is your awakening, and the judgment for somebody who's going to receive their karma, and it's going to be a bad karma. Okay? But then you understand, you overstand, as I said, that, it's that it comes a time when everybody has to start to really make sure that they understand what path that they're on, the challenges that are around them, the challenges that are coming towards them, and knowing that you have to develop thick skin and become powerful enough to deal with the challenges that's coming your way. And I feel that whatever's going on inside of you, certain people around you have no idea what's going on. That's why I said you need to be careful about certain people that want to ask you about what you think, about your thoughts. Because I feel that for certain people of you, it's about disparaging you or using it against you, in order to mock you or to compete with you, whatever. We've got the empathy card. I am open to seeing both sides of a situation. This is what I was just, in a sense, talking about with regards to this judgment. You can see that there's certain times when, they have their own unique path. So it doesn't necessarily mean that, you're going to sit there forever and sort of have about these people. You know that there's a time and a place for when people need to change. The time and the place for you to change is now. And for others, because you're seeing it from a different side of things now, a higher perspective, they're not ready yet. They're not ready yet. So, but because they're not ready, it doesn't mean that you have to sit there waiting for them. You have to get on with your own life. Close the door on this past in order to open the door towards your future. Cast those doubts aside. I release the need to know all the answers. The answers will come to you as and when. Remember what I said to you with regards to this fact that when you have to relocate from your present location, sometimes it's like you just go with the flow. Because when you get to where you will be heading to, the answers will be there waiting for you. All right? And I feel that if you're going to sort of you enjoy the journey even more by going with the flow, by having faith. Instead of constantly going against the grain, oh, what's going on? And why is this happening? And where are we going? Etc., etc., etc. You're not really going to really see the beauty of this change during this metamorphosis. Because it's as if you're being sort of coerced and pushed, and there's a little bit of a resistance. Release and let go. Okay, and we've got loneliness. I know that I am never alone. So in times of, as I said to you with regards to the fact that if you do feel that there's times of when you feel lonely, because this spiritual path is a very lonely one to go down, but you know that you're not on your own. You know that there are others with you in spirit form as well as in physical form. However, we are far apart, but we can energetically connect through the energy of the universe and through the energy of the internet. We are still able to connect. Okay, so you're not on your own. All right, we're all around. So you know that you're never alone, and hence this is why, again, when you have that within yourself, especially as I've always said before in previous readings, there could be a legion of them that's against you, but you are going to still be strong enough to stand in your power, and they will never be able to defeat you. Then they end up defeating themselves. Next card that we have, I'm going to pull 2 cards, thank you. All right. Something about number 2s. We're going to have this one, gratitude. Okay, I am thankful for this life and the opportunities that it presents. This is what I had to be corrected. Instead of saying about the crappy job, because the job was able to get you to where you are today. So give thanks, and I have to give thanks for that. Yeah, I said I'm thankful. I've been in certain jobs as well, which was low paid, probably literally next to nothing. I went through my own form of misery as well, and I just felt that it was just never ending. And I've walked into so many brick walls myself and dead ends as well. But if I didn't go through those experiences, it never would have brought me to where I am today. So I have to give thanks. And then to end on a fantastic note is success. I know that there is no greater goal than to love, because love, as I said, is the key to everything. It's like this omnipresence. Omniscience. Oh God, see what I'm saying? Omniscience, of like this all-knowing, beautiful energy of the divine that knows everything. So you don't have to worry. Once you align yourself with the light in that way, nobody cannot attack you. Nobody. All right. Let's get stuck into the Oracle light. Protection. Call back your power. Cut the cords. Soul retrieval. This is 10-10. Typical 10-10. Typical Libran energy. All right, typical 10-10 vibes. Take your power back. Call back your power. You are very capable of looking after yourself. You are a big grown-ass person, man or woman. You can look after yourself. You do not need to be breastfed by people who, self-appoint themselves as leaders. And then when they want to turn and, screw you over, how are you going to be able to survive? Because you would have become so codependent upon a little handout. And in exchange for that little handout, you would have had to give them all of your power, which is priceless, by the way. And that's your energy, and that's your essence, and that's part of your soul. That's what you've given them. A vote is not just a vote. A vote is your energy. A vote is your power. A vote is your essence. A vote is your signature to your soul, the blueprint of your soul. Cut the cords of that and get your damn power back. Okay? No more. Block them off. Next card that we've got is Lemuria, creating heaven on earth. It's happening. This is why you need to call back your power and cut the cords, because of this beautiful new beginning that you're going through. So you need to make sure that you are prepared. And I feel that wherever it is that you're heading towards in this brown bear spirit, you're going to be needed. This is why wherever you're going towards, you are needed, guys. You're needed. Okay? You will see. You will see. See all these, look, I tell you, all these gatherings, there's certain things that's going on. We've got the Great Gathering. It's all coming together in intuitive hits, soul tribe. You will not be able to be a part of the soul tribe if you don't first retrieve your soul. I'll repeat that again. You will not be able to be a part of the soul tribe if you do not first retrieve your soul. You are needed to, wherever you're going to, you are needed to help to build New Earth. The great gathering is happening. You're being called towards your spiritual mission. This is why I said you need to make sure that whenever you are aligning yourself with certain tarot readers, certain so-called high vibe spiritual groups on Facebook or whatever kind of social media platform that they're on, that there is talk about building. There is talk about disconnecting yourself from energies that are no longer really and truly serving your purpose. All right, they could say it in a reading, but what else are they saying? Are they pushing you towards it in a sense of really showing you and empowering you to do so? At the end of the day, look, it's down to you. But get off the hamster wheel and start walking. Because if not, if you continue to be on this cycle, this hamster wheel, don't complain to anybody. Because nobody that you think that's going to be listening to you, they're not going to be able to help you because they're going to be on the hamster wheel just like you. But those people who got off the hamster wheel or got off the merry-go-round, they walked off, and those would have been the same people that would have been able to help you. They're going to be they're not going to be around because they've gone back their business. And we've got in Rama, where are you being called to journey to? Brown bear, where are you going? Where are you being called to journey to? All right? Where are you being called to go to? Look at the portals that's opening up for you. All right? Yes, it may feel like it's lonely, but I tell you something, you're heading into a world of new possibilities. Time shift, timeline jumping, quantum leaping. Come out from one existence in this timeline that you found yourself in, and the challenge is to get out. Transcend this and head towards home. We've got jump in, Andromedan energy, adventure. Say yes to change. Yes. Change is now. We have got the blue flame. If you can resonate with this, this is for you. Spontaneous awakening, activation, integration time. Integrate with those who will be able to help you and themselves and the whole tribe to become more innovative and creative within building. There's something, a real strong word about building. And the way how I'm saying this building, it just feels like it's a word that makes me feel really high vibrational and makes me feel that all things are possible. This is what I'm picking up with that word building. Remember, your thoughts, your words, the spells that you are saying, you're casting spells on yourself in order to bring a beautiful energy and a vibe into existence. Loosen your grip. Coping mechanisms, density, addiction, let God in. So if you have been feeling, remember I said to you with regards to certain things, of the way how you look at yourself in a mirror, and there's certain things that will need to change. Loosen your grip as well with regards to if change is inevitable, because it is. Don't deny it. Don't doubt it. If you align yourself with the true light, you will be right. Remember what I said to you with regards to laughter leads me back to the light. And remember what I said to you earlier on about the way how Lolita is able to stand strong with regards to her light warrior energy. Okay. And you can stand strong in your own light, even when you stand in the darkness. Okay. The darkness is surrounded by your light. It's not that you are surrounded by the darkness. Your light is not surrounded by the darkness. It's the darkness that is surrounded by your light. Learn to transmute that energy. Learn to transmute that so that you don't feel afraid. You don't feel overwhelmed anymore. And then we have got wait. It's not yet time. Things are being woven. And I feel that this would have been some of you guys when things felt that they were a bit slow. Miracles take time to manifest. If you were calling in for change during a time, there were still certain experiences that you needed to go through. Remember what I mentioned about these jobs? And it felt that, oh my God, am I ever going to get out of this? Yes, because nothing lasts forever and change is inevitable. But it's just that there were certain things that needed to be done. During your waiting period, look to see what life lessons that you can see and attune yourself with, so that it can help you to become more valuable, you know, towards not just yourself, but to others as well. Remember, this is about part of the service. Okay, I'm going to give you guys one more card. And we have got Breath of the Cosmos, My Will to Thy Will, micromanaging the universe. Remember what I said about aligning yourself with the vibes, with the light. You will become even more powerful. Okay, so let's bring on the tarot. Let's bring on the tarot. So I'm going to go with this one, the Moonchild Tarot. Okay. Thank you guys again for really holding out on this reading. Oh my God, it's just so long. But yeah, it needs to be. It needs to be. Okay, Spirit, thank you so much. What does the collective need to know with the tarot? Thank you, thank you, thank you. What does the collective, the divine feminines, need to know? I'm also picking up on balance between the divine feminine and the divine masculine within the one person. Balancing the divine feminine and the divine masculine within the one person. Not about the person that's outside of you, the energies that is within you, in order to allow this blue flame to become activated. Okay? It cannot otherwise. All right, okay. So the first card up we do have is King of Wands. Action, action, action. Determination. And I don't know why, well, no, I do know why. It's giving me the brown bear energy again. You are definitely on, you know, you're heading towards this newness. You're ready to put in the work. You are surrounding yourself with nature and, you know, using the wands. This could be you in this kind of like magician energy as well. Commanding, evoking certain energies. This could be using chaos magic. This is about oh, there's just so much exciting things that's coming off with this King of Wands. It's a real feel-good energy as well. This is what I'm picking up, a feel-good energy. Okay, let's see. I'm gonna leave that card the way I had this card fell on this card. I'm gonna see what this is about. Just going to pull the other cards. Got the King of Cups. Again, facing the right direction. This feels to me that this is the balance of the feminine and the masculine within the one person. Let me just turn this around so that you can see. Okay? And what I just said about balancing the feminine and the masculine energies within the one person. There's a reason why these cards fell out like this. Okay, so there seems to be some kind of balance in order to allow this flame to be activated. Page of Swords, mental alchemy. Use it, doing the research, putting in the work, doing the research. And I feel that again, you know, this is the way how the sword is raised up as well. There's something about this Page of Swords. It's not the way how it's normally seen in other readings, but right now this is about using mind over matter. Mind over matter. With this Page of Swords, sorry, with this card that was over, why does this feel that this is something, why was this card over? And it's and I said mind over matter. What, this feels like this is a challenge, this is a blockage. The Sun card. Mind over matter. There were certain things that you have become exposed to. I'm going to find out what this is. Tell me about what was this, whatever was blocking you. It's exposed. Because the way how I see it, this could have something to do with two people. That could have, for some people, there's a feeling here, because I'm reading these cards differently. But what I feel going on here, and the way how this card fell down, is that they were trying to block your light. They were trying to block you. Right? Remember what I said about the mind over matter. There could have been two people that you could have been involved with, or a collection of people that were trying to expunge your light and trying to block you. So from becoming activated. so that you could get, so that you would not balance. But you see how you got the Kings of Wands and the Kings of Cups, the King of Cups, both in the upright position, both facing in the right direction, right? And it's like you are in this energy of this balance, okay? And because the way how the Sun card was on the reverse, like, well, covered over, they were trying to cover you up, trying to block you. But it's as if, like, with this mental alchemy kind of energy, the magic within you, whatever it is that you've conjured up, your will be done. My will to thy will, micromanaging the universe. Because you've aligned yourself in a certain way. Whatever's in darkness will always come to light. So if they were trying to mess you up, it's like they're being blown apart. They are exposed and, like, you know, they're just obliterated by their own hatred and anger and jealousy towards you. They are destroyed. The card at the bottom of the deck is the Hermit card in the reverse. So whatever's in darkness, you've been doing your shadow work. You've become more enlightened. This Sun card is like the enlightenment that you've been working on. People trying to come at you and trying to mash you up. It's not working. This is powerful shit. Sorry, powerful stuff. It's another card that wants to come through. We've got the Two of Wands. Yeah, they tried to stop you from making any form of decision. And I'm also drawn to this energy of the Weight card as well. All right? Because a decision is like, sometimes it's like you would have had to catch people out. Or probably not even doing anything, because people would have been exposing themselves to you. So, you know, sometimes that you don't have to do anything. And people end up tripping themselves up in their own trap, or entrapping themselves in the trap that they have set for you. But you would have foreseen already. This is what I'm saying, again, with this brown bear spirit. It was as if they tried to mess you up. But no more. Enough is enough. You're walking away from all of this. All right? Tell me about what's happening in the Sun card. These two people. Can I have some cards on this? The two people. What's happening here with these two people? Can I have 4 cards, please, Spirit? Thank you. Who tried to block you? Yeah, because of the 9 of Crystals, your independence, number 9. So you definitely would have been wanting to kind of, yeah, you've got the Lovers. Some kind of partnership. This could have been you wanted to become independent and break away from some form of partnership. This could be a relationship, but not necessarily with the Lovers card. It can also represent about a parting of ways of a connection that is no longer working for you. 2 more cards, please, Spirit. Knight of Swords in the reverse. And last card. I've got an extra card, but before I turn these over, with this Knight of Swords, this is somebody that was trying to come towards you in a fast way, but they got mashed up. They got blocked. We'll find out why these two cards, there's something about these two cards that's going to explain this situation. But whatever they were trying to come at you with, I'm being drawn to that card that was talking about the revenge, all right? And this feels like this is aggressiveness. With the Knight of Swords, the swords can represent communication, which basically, but this communication felt that it was very aggressive. They were trying to come after you with something. It feels baseless. It feels as if because somebody wanted to know what your thoughts are, and again with the way how you're protecting your mind. No. They can't come up with anything because they were going to try and use something against you. We have got the 6 of Wands and the Hierophant. The Hierophant and the 6 of Wands. Do you know, it feels as if there's some form of organization, because a Hierophant can represent an organization, but this 6 of Wands is about the victory. And what I'm picking up here as well, this Hierophant, it feels as if this would have been like a higher position And this was also quite kind of like this kind of spiritual kind of energy. It's like they were really trying to stop this from happening. You've accepted, you're changing. This is a commitment that you are wanting to go towards. You're committed to your journey, and this is going to be successful. The Six of Wands is speaking about success. This is victory. And this is what, you know, with this Nine of Crystals and Nine of Pentacles, you're being guided away. And this is Orion's belt. Remember the card that was talking about releasing? Orion releasing all of the denials, the comparison, the doubts, the fears, people that were trying to compete with you. You don't have time for that, okay? This is another kind of commitment that you are going towards. You're committed to your own journey. And the card at the bottom of the deck is the Nine of Cups. They didn't get what they wanted. The wish was denied. If they were wishing bad on you and wishing that things will really mess up with you, then they never would have got nowhere. Okay, and they've been rebuked. And also what I'm picking up as well is that you have decided to step out of your comfort zone, because the Nine of Cups can also represent, you know, sitting down and, you know, not really making much of your life, or, you know, just comfortable with life. And I feel that you needed to shift yourself out from it because you became very restless. Okay, and needing to make some real serious bold moves. Knight of Cups. Moving away, making new offers, a new beginning that's coming through for you as well. And I can see the spirit world, the realm, there's something very, I don't know if you can see this very well, but from what I can see like chalices in the clouds. All right, some kind of spiritual being that was over you as well. This is about some new energy that's coming in, a new offer that is coming in, something that is meaningful here. If you accepted, and if you got some kind of invitation, guys, because feels like this is like a loving kind of energy, and it's giving me, again, like this balance kind of thing. Could be accepting a new job offer, something that is really going to help you along. You know, you're just making the right decision for yourself. All right, this is bringing about a new beginning for you. They didn't get what they wanted. You still got something good coming your way out of it. All right. False friends, you know, that falls away in order to make some new ones. And, you know, you'll get to find out what they are in due time. All right. So that brings me to the ending of that reading. Now we are going to and I'm hearing some ringing in my ears as well, just as I've said that. I'm going to now start with just wrapping up this reading and giving you some healing cards and other oracle cards based on what you need to know, messages from the universe, all right? But when I've picked up this deck, the first one that I got was Encountering Conflict. And I feel that this is quite appropriate for what's actually going on here, because I just feel that there's so much toxicity that some of you guys are really ending, okay, really cutting the cords to these people. Okay, so this is Encountering Conflict. This is a double-sided deck, by the way. And we have got, I don't choose sides, I take a stand. And again, it's giving me spirit bear vibes. Feel for some of you guys, this could be your animal totem, because I've been talking about this bear spirit vibes energy for more than anything else, more than any of the other messages. And I feel that it's more prominent here. You took a stand. You didn't choose to be siding with anybody that it just didn't feel right to you. This is about you taking a stand on your own beliefs, your own belief system. Okay? So this is Encountering Conflict. Next card that we've got for you guys. Invoking self-realization. This is the Judgment card. This is the awareness. This is the epiphany. This is all about the transformation. Okay, so the moment that you started to deal with this conflict in this kind of way, you then started to realize how powerful you really are. And we've got each breath confirms how awake I already am. You knew already, my lovely, you had the power within you. And this blue is like this blue flame being activated, your spontaneous awakening, evoking, using the magician energy to sort of manifest what it is that you want and to bring it into being. You knew, you know, this is, again, how you knew how you wanted to be, all right? So this is amazing stuff. This is amazing. We have got expanding inner power. I can't make this up. Expanding inner power, my goodness. And we have got, I am my most powerful when my creativity is given a voice. You are definitely going to be appreciated wherever you are heading to. Wherever you're going towards, the people that you will meet will appreciate your presence so much. Your energy is going to be embraced and you will be accepted because they have been there, they get you, they know what it's all about, and you are going to form such a strong tribe of like-minded souls. Your community is going to blossom and bloom, okay? And we have got expressing free will. You made that choice for yourself, just as everybody else has to make that free choice for themselves as well. Remember what I just said, you cannot change people, you cannot force them to change because they have a right to express their free will as well. Okay, and some of them that were trying to mess you up and trap you and to throw you off your course, to look at them as your teachers because they taught you, they trained you to be even more stronger. My choices determine how brightly I shine. How brightly you shine is through the sun card. You still blazed them out. You still put them on blast. You still was able to shine through. Okay. You know, your choices determine how brightly I shine. You chose through some form of mental alchemy. Remember what I said about mind over matter to turn around and break through. The cards are really speaking really beautifully right now. Okay, let's go with the Lightworker Oracle. These are messages from the universe for the Divine Feminine. Kind of do we need to know? We've got wisdom of the Divine Feminine. Wisdom of the Divine Feminine. Number 9. There's something about number 9, guys. Something about number 9. Okay, something about number 9. Oops, that card slipped. We have got paradigm shift. Paradigm shift. Okay, using the mental alchemy. Knowing that whatever dark forces that is trying to manipulate you or trying to throw you off your path, trying to make you feel vulnerable, this narcissistic energy is no more. It is expunged. You are going through the portal. Okay, the portal. You're going through it. You are going through it. You've accepted the fact that this paradigm shift is happening and you have the right to jump timelines. You have that universal right. It's your birthright in order to be happy. It's your birthright in order to be successful. Don't let nobody tell and tell you otherwise. It would help if I had this in the upright position, but you see how it came out? Power of the divine masculine. Remember what I just said to you with regards to the balance of the feminine and the masculine within you. The balance of the feminine and the masculine within you. It doesn't matter if you are a man or a woman. If you can possess both energies. Okay? You can possess both energies right now. But there needs to be that balance. I'm telling you, you've got it within you, man. And look, Ascension, the rainbow bridge. Can't make it up. Allowing yourself to shine. The card at the bottom of the deck. 6th ray of devotion. Feeling so blessed, humbled, grounded to know that you made it this far. Despite everything, knowing that you've even got the power to even do some cloud bursting. You have got some superhuman energies that is emerging within you. This is a wonderful time to be alive. And a wonderful time to know that you are certainly living this human experience to the best of your ability. Let's go with the activations, the sacred activations. Okay. Yep, the cards are set for you already. Oh God. Healing. The frequency of healing supports our intrinsic ability to restore our health and wholeness by consciously using the information that comes to us through our senses and harmonizing everything accordingly. Okay, and that kind of brings me back to the passage that Laura Eisenhower had written with regards to just us as conscious beings, okay? And the fact that, you know, we are, sorry, I'll just bring it up again. We are the science in biological vessels with an immune system and the capacity to love and transform things. You have just been doing so much of this, guys. Okay, this is just so amazing. And the card that we have got next is Gaia. You see? The frequency of Gaia reminds us that we are infinitely connected to one another, just as we are to our great mother and to the universe that birthed us all. So I'm telling you, when you're in this energy of getting grounded, the sixth rate of devotion, the happiness, the abundance, the gratitude, the humbleness that you have gone through, you are here today because of the hell that you had gone through. You've made it this far. Divine Feminine. The frequency of Divine Feminine supports our receptive, nurturing and soft side, allowing it to express itself openly and helping us to connect with our intrinsic understanding of our connection of all creation. This is what I'm saying. We are definitely under attack. And we need to make sure that we are the protection at all costs. Okay? Think about what the Red Goddess is doing with the powers that be on that side. And the last card that we've got is discernment. Remember what I said to you about using discernment? If anybody's going to be coming at you and trying to pretend to be some kind of light worker or trying to become some kind of, you know, high vibe tarot reader or high vibe Facebook group or something like that, and you're not getting, and you just don't feel it makes sense to you or whatever, you have the power and the right to unfollow, block, break away from that energy. Use your discernment. Or if anybody's going to be asking about, oh, what are you thinking about or whatever, and you don't vibe with that person, my darling, you need to know what you need to do. Okay? The frequency of discernment supports our ability to view the world and the people around us from a place of inner balance and detachment, yet with compassion and wisdom. Okay? Use your discernment. If it feels like it's too good to be true, more than likely it is, but it doesn't mean that that it could be for you, it could be for somebody else. You've already gone through that energy already, you've gone through that situation already. Or if somebody feels to you that they just want to turn and mess you up, no. You have the right to say no. Thank you, but no thank you. And we have got allowance. The frequency of allowance invites us to be open to whatever comes our way without judgment, without opinion, without fear, and without resistance. Remember what I said about go with the flow with lack of resistance as well, because have faith. When we allow the universe becomes our partner in the wondrous dance of existence and expansion. Okay, micromanaging the universe, the breath of the cosmos, my will to thy will. When you're becoming one with the universe, okay, you have to use some form of discernment in order to use judgment as well. If it works for you, that's what I said. If it doesn't work for you, if it doesn't feel right for you, if you're working somewhere or you're living somewhere where you just feel that it's time for me to move on, I've done enough digging, or I've done enough research, or I've done enough thinking, I've deliberated over this situation enough, I feel it's time for me to go, or anybody's coming at you with any kind of offer, use your discretion, use discernment. Okay, and then you make your judgment at the end of that day to say, well, yeah, I've decided, yeah, I'll give that a go, or no, I won't, or it's time for me to break away. Emergence. The frequency of emergence invites us to approach our reality with a childlike attitude of innocence and wonderment, and to watch and celebrate the beauty that unfolds from that place. And again, I don't know why, but I'm being picked up on the Red Goddess, which is somewhere. Okay, I've got so many cards. Yeah, the Red Goddess. Remember that the playfulness is a spiritual power. And again, with this vibe, what it says here about childlike attitude of innocence and wonderment, that's playfulness is a spiritual power, and laughter leads me back to the light. The card at the bottom of the deck for this is compassion. The frequency of compassion supports our ability to stand by others without judgment and to be the divine mediator between heaven and earth, spirit and matter, so that unconditional love can flow from source through our hearts and into the world. Now, when I mentioned about judgment, Remember, the Judgment card is about your awakening and your awareness, not so much about being throwing judgment onto people. All right. So I just wanted to kind of like, you know, put that out there. It's about your awakening without, you know, judging people or whatever. But the Judgment card is also about your awakening. Okay. Okay. And the last deck, I told you this is a lengthy ass reading, guys. I'm telling you. This is Love Notes from the Universe. And this is the last deck that I'm going to be using, guys. Again, thank you so much. Thank you for watching this reading. And hopefully this is going to just put you into the right kind of vibe that you need to kind of really power up yourself in order to elevate yourself as well, so that you can ascend to the next level. And we have got things are about to get really juicy. All right, there's some newness that is coming in, guys. Things are about to get really juicy. Okay. It's got good vibes that's coming in. There's a deeper reason for each of your questions. Seek it. So if there's certain things that you have been asking yourself and you've been researching, you've just been trying to find out, remember, you have the right to question everything. Okay, question everything. If it doesn't feel right to you, if they're imposing so much stuff on you and it just really makes you feel like, oh, hold on a minute, you have every right to ask a question. And if they try to suppress you with it of like, oh, no, you don't need to know that, then there's a reason why you need to use discernment. Okay, if anybody's coming at you with anything, any offers, you have a reason to question it. Don't take it at face value. Question it, okay? But you've got some good things that's going on. You've got so much protection. You've got it going on. Turn on your love light. This is what you've been doing. Turning on your love light in order to become activated. It's working for you. And do something new. Something different. This new energy that you're working in towards is going to really help you to shine. And we've got honor thyself. Be thankful to yourself. Congratulate yourself. Be gentle with yourself. This is all a part of the healing. This is all about the change that you've been going through. This metamorphosis, this transformation that you've gone through. Yes, it has been harrowing. It's been a harrowing experience for some of you guys. You know, but it's all about the love that you got for yourself at the end of the day. Okay, the belief system that you've got, the strength, the courage that you've got within yourself to help you to move forward to new and, you know, exciting heights. Okay, so guys, this has brought me to the ending of this long reading. I really am thankful to you guys for sticking in there. As I said, this is the ending of the 1010 portal reading. I just wanted to make sure that we get this energy really happy and vibey because of so much that's going on around the Divine Feminines. And we need to just make sure that we are really and truly from now on, for as long as it takes, to just become very much being able to stay high vibrational so that you're able to look at things from a higher soulful perspective. If it comes to any kind of challenges that's coming your way, you know how to deal with them accordingly. And, you know, dealing with any shadow work, any sort of entities or whatever that's trying to come your way, you know that you have that goddess power within you, that high priestess power within you, that empress power within you, that divine feminine power within you, and obviously the divine masculine power within you to be able to overcome all forms of adversities. Because why? You have aligned yourself with your light, your higher self, and of course, the one and only one true creator, the Most High. Thank you guys for watching this reading. Do take care of yourselves. Have a beautiful, blessed day. And I will be back with another reading for you all. Take care of yourselves and peace out.